At 56 Hope Road in Kingston, time doesn't move forward, it listens. The house looks modest from the outside, but step closer and you'll feel it. Music soaked into the walls, history humming in the air. This was home to Bob Marley, a place where global anthems were written, recorded, and lived, not behind gold gates, but with purpose and peace. And as peaceful as this place feels, the numbers behind his legacy may surprise you, because Bob Marley's fortune only grew louder after he was gone. At the time of his death in 1981, Marley's net worth was estimated at $11.5 million, roughly $40 million today when adjusted for inflation. What followed, however, is one of the most powerful posthumous success stories in music history. Marley's recordings have sold over 75 million copies worldwide, placing him among the best-selling artists of all time. Albums like Exodus and the compilation Legend never left rotation. Decades later, they continue to introduce new generations to reggae's most recognizable voice. Music royalties remain the backbone of the estate, with annual earnings estimated at $25 to $30 million from physical sales, publishing, radio play, and digital platforms. Streaming contributes a smaller share, often cited around $700,000 annually, but the long tail of licensing keeps the catalog evergreen. Merchandising became the next pillar. Branded clothing, accessories, posters, and memorabilia featuring Marley's image generate another $25 to $30 million per year. His likeness is not treated as nostalgia, it's positioned as culture. Licensing and brand partnerships push the numbers even higher. Marley's name, image, and philosophy are used in global collaborations across fashion, lifestyle, and entertainment, contributing an additional $25 to $30 million annually by many estimates. Recent expansions include live experiences like the Bob Marley Hope Road concert series in Las Vegas, which introduce his music through immersive performance rather than traditional tours. Family-run ventures extend the brand into everyday life. These include Marley Natural, House of Marley, and Marley Coffee, each tied to sustainability and Marley's original values. Tourism also plays a role, with the Bob Marley Museum drawing visitors year-round. Media projects, including the 2024 biographical film Bob Marley, One Love, add further momentum. Today, Bob Marley's legacy is estimated to be worth over $500 million. Not because the brand chased trends, but because the music never stopped meaning something. But wealth was never the beginning of his story. To understand how a man who lived simply created a fortune that outlived him, we have to go back to where it all started, long before fame, contracts, or Hope Road. Born on February 6, 1945, in the rural village of 9 Mile, St. Anne Parish, Bob Marley entered the world carrying contradictions that would later shape his music. His father, Norval Sinclair Marley, was a white Jamaican of English descent and nearly 40 years older than his mother, Cedella Malcolm, who was just 18 at the time. Norval was largely absent from Bob's life and died in 1955, leaving Cedella to raise her son alone. That loss pushed mother and child toward Kingston, where they settled in the crowded, unforgiving streets of Trenchtown. Trenchtown was poor, loud, and unstable, but it was alive. It was here that Marley absorbed the rhythms of daily struggle, community, and survival. Cedella later remarried Edward Booker, an American civil servant, and Bob grew up alongside half-siblings while forming lifelong friendships that would define his future. One of those friendships was with Neville Bunny Livingston, later known as Bunny Wailer. The two met as schoolboys in 9 Mile and reunited in Trenchtown, bonding over music instead of escape. Their talent did not go unnoticed. Local singer Joe Higgs became a mentor, teaching the young men harmony, discipline, and guitar. Higgs's yard became their classroom. Soon, Bob and Bunny were joined by Peter Tosh, Beverly Kelso, and Junior Braithwaite. Together, they formed the Wailers in 1963. What they created sounded different, raw, spiritual, defiant. Their breakthrough came quickly. The single "Simmer Down" reached #1 in Jamaica in early 1964, giving voice to the frustrations of Kingston's youth. Over the next decade, the Wailers evolved alongside Jamaica's sound, moving from ska to rocksteady and finally into reggae. Collaborations with producer Lee "Scratch" Perry sharpened their edge, while Marley's songwriting grew increasingly political and spiritual. By the mid-1970s, internal tensions split the group. In 1974, the original lineup disbanded, and Marley stepped forward as a solo artist, though he continued to perform as Bob Marley and the Wailers. This marked the beginning of his global ascent. Albums like "Catch a Fire and Burnin' opened doors abroad, but it was Exodus in 1977 that sealed his legacy. Named Album of the Century by Time magazine, Exodus transformed Marley from a reggae star into a global prophet of resistance and unity. Over his career, Marley released 13 studio albums and 6 live records. Songs like "One Love," "No Woman, No Cry," "Get Up, Stand Up," "I Shot the Sheriff," and "Redemption Song" crossed borders, languages, and generations. His compilation album Legend remains the best-selling reggae album of all time, and his total record sales exceed 75 million worldwide. Yet for all the global stages and international acclaim, Marley remained grounded in place. His music may have traveled the world, but its heartbeat stayed in Jamaica. And nowhere is that connection more tangible than the house where he lived, created, and survived. His legacy home in Kingston, where history still lingers in every room. Home in Kingston, Jamaica. Tucked into the everyday rhythm of Kingston, 56 Hope Road is not a mansion built to impress. It's a home that earned its gravity. Today known as the Bob Marley Museum, the property remains one of Jamaica's most visited cultural landmarks, not because it dazzles, but because it tells the truth. This was the real home of Bob Marley, a place where music was lived as much as it was written. The house itself dates back to the 19th century, long before Marley's rise. He purchased it in 1975, choosing substance over spectacle. From the outside, it appears modest. Inside, it becomes clear why it mattered. This wasn't just a residence, it was the operational heart of Marley's world. The building also served as the headquarters for Tuff Gong, where Marley recorded, rehearsed, and managed the growing reach of his music. Songs that would later circle the globe were shaped within these walls, often between conversations, rehearsals, and long nights of reflection. Every room has been preserved with intention. Marley's bedroom remains simple, almost stark. His guitar rests nearby. Personal items sit exactly where they once belonged. There's no attempt to modernize or sanitize the space. Even the bullet holes from the 1976 assassination attempt are still visible, left untouched as a reminder that Marley's message of peace was forged under real threat. That event didn't silence him. It sharpened his resolve. By 1986, Marley's wife, Rita Marley, transformed the home into a museum, not as a shrine, but as a living archive. The goal wasn't nostalgia, it was continuity. Today, visitors walk through rooms that still feel occupied by ideas rather than objects. Beyond the house, the museum experience expands. An 80-seat theater screens rare footage and interviews, allowing visitors to hear Marley speak in his own voice. A curated photo gallery captures moments from childhood to global stardom. A record shop and gift store offer music and memorabilia, not as souvenirs, but as extensions of the story. And at the One Love Cafe, traditional Jamaican dishes ground the visit in place, flavor, and culture. This house doesn't celebrate wealth, it preserves purpose. And behind that purpose was a man shaped not only by music and politics, but by love, faith, family, and belief. Personal life. Bob Marley married Rita Marley, born Alfarita Constantia Anderson, in Kingston on February 10, 1966. Their marriage became the emotional anchor of his life and career. Together, they raised a large, complex family. 3 children were born to Rita, 2 others were adopted from her previous relationships and carried the Marley surname, and Bob's official website recognizes 11 children in total. Several of them, most notably Ziggy Marley, Stephen Marley, and Damian Marley, would go on to become Grammy-winning artists, extending their father's musical bloodline into new generations. Marley's personal life was inseparable from his faith. A devoted follower of Rastafari, he lived his beliefs openly and unapologetically. According to biographers, he was affiliated with the 12 tribes of Israel, specifically the tribe of Joseph, determined by his February birth. Rastafari shaped everything, from his dreadlocks to his lyrics, from his diet to his worldview. It fueled his commitment to Pan-Africanism, the idea that people of African descent worldwide should unite spiritually and politically. Cannabis, which Marley viewed as a sacrament rather than a vice, became part of his religious practice after his conversion from Catholicism in 1966. That devotion brought consequences. He was arrested and fined for possession in London in 1968, an incident he never treated as shameful. By July 1977, Marley's life took a quiet but fatal turn. Doctors diagnosed nodular melanoma beneath the nail of his right big toe. Contrary to popular myth, it was not caused by a soccer injury, but was an aggressive form of skin cancer more common in people with darker skin. Physicians advised amputation to prevent the spread. Marley refused, citing religious beliefs and concern for his ability to perform. Instead, he allowed removal of the nail and nail bed, followed by a skin graft. He kept touring. By September 1980, the cost of that decision became clear. Marley collapsed while jogging in Central Park, New York, and doctors discovered the cancer had spread to his brain, lungs, and liver. His final concert took place days later at the Stanley Theater in Pittsburgh, a performance later immortalized in Kevin MacDonald's documentary, Marley. Alternative treatment in Germany under Joseph Issels failed. On his return flight to Jamaica, his condition worsened. The plane diverted to Miami, where Marley died on May 11, 1981, at just 36 years old. His final words to his son Ziggy, "On the way up, take me up. On the way down, don't let me down," echoed his lifelong philosophy. Jamaica honored him with a state funeral on May 21, 1981, blending Ethiopian Orthodox and Rastafari traditions. He was buried in 9 Mile with his red Gibson Les Paul, an open Bible at Psalm 23, and a sprig of cannabis placed by Rita. Prime Minister Edward Seaga eulogized him as an experience, not a man, something the nation could never erase. Death, however, did not bring peace to his estate. Marley died without a will, consistent with Rastafarian beliefs that rejected formal acknowledgement of death. Jamaican law granted Rita an initial 10% of the estate, eventually rising to 55%, with the remainder split among the children. Hundreds of claims emerged from individuals alleging to be Marley's heirs. Under poor advice, Rita forged a will bearing Bob's signature, leaving most assets to herself. When the fraud was discovered, a 10-year legal battle followed, costing $6 million, nearly half the estate's value at the time. Ultimately, a Jamaican court ruled that control of Marley's assets remained with Chris Blackwell, founder of Island Records, who managed them through Island Logic Limited until 2001. Only then did full control transfer to Rita and the 11 legally recognized children. Today, Marley's estate generates $25 to $30 million annually in royalties, with lifetime brand value exceeding $500 million. Had he lived, Bob Marley himself would likely be worth over $200 million. Yet his life makes one thing clear. He chose conviction over comfort, faith over fortune. And in doing so, created a legacy money could never buy. If this story moved you, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who still believes music can change lives. Thank you for watching, and thank you for walking this journey with us.